Anything else? I know I have to wait till somebody decides they want to talk about something. You having fun?
Just
Don't have
talking
to- I
about,
don't really care if you're having fun. Don't misunderstand me. But if you're having fun and you're somewhat engaged in your course.
There's two terms I heard this week at work that I wanted to get clarification on. One is silos in
Mhm.
relationship to the org charts. Like
Mhm.
what I mean, I think they're just talking about the columns that form when you have
It's a dynamic too, though.
extended.
What happens when you
org charts.
usually when you hear the term silos, they're talking about a mentality. Oh, we're gonna be here a while till the storm passes, so just get going. What they're referring to is the people in different departments operate in their own little silos, and they don't communicate back and forth.
Oh, yeah, that definitely happens.
Okay.
that's it.
And, I don't remember how to pronounce the other word. It was like, epistemological or something like that.
Not
That's
sure
a
what
new
context.
Or an operation.
Hmm?
Sounds like an operation.
I'll look, yeah.
Okay.
I'll look and see if I can find it, but.
But that's definitely silos, yes.
Let me throw another term at you. Hero or Godfather? What are we talking about there?
Type of leadership.
No, not quite. It's that, mentor, that's the word I was gonna put above it. When you get into an organization, not necessarily up your chain of command, but as you make other contacts, you wanna foster those relationships, and if you can identify someone who is in a fairly influential position that you seem to have a rapport with, or he has, or she has an interest in working with you, talking with you, helping you, these godfathers or heroes are the ones that if you cultivate those kind of outside the chain relationships, can also open up doors to your future. This is the person, this mentor, who should be able to tell you how the game is played in your organization. Because different organizations play the games different ways. Sometimes your boss won't tell you whether you're doing real good or real bad. And you need to be able to judge that, and sometimes you can get a perspective on that from a mentor or a hero or a godfather. So don't overlook those. At the same time, if you try to cultivate those relationships and you appear to be trying to push it and sell yourself too much to people who aren't interested, you're coming across with exactly the wrong image and message. Yes, ma'am.
Would you feel like covering the whole ladders to lattice perspective in business? Or is that,
No.
and how much do you feel that that plays in business today?
Well, I've got to give you my understanding of it and see if it's yours. We talk about ladders in the sense of you start here and you work your way up. We talk about lattice in the sense of the relationships and opportunities that occur crossroad. And so it may be that if you start here and go up, you will eventually move over here, and then from here, you'll go back over here, okay? And typically, particularly for younger managers, that learning the cross-functional duties of different departments is a real asset. If you can work over there long enough to know what's going on, but not get pigeonholed or siloed into just that operation. So if you view an organizational structure as a lattice, that means that if you start here, you don't just go up the ladder. That you should take on opportunities, even if they don't result in a promotion, sometimes anyway, to pick up some more skills, to build some other relationships.
In a small sense, is that similar to what Publix requires of, are you familiar with their?
Very much.
I remember the Publix from a long time ago, but basically if you wanted to move up into management, you had to work everywhere.
That's what they do.
Banks are the same way,
Okay.
and that's exactly what you're looking for.
UPS, same way.
Okay. Good.
That's the corporation I work for. They have a leadership development program, and they take recent bachelor graduates, and they have to work like 3 or 4 months in each department before they can move into management.
Good. And if you are accepted into that sort of program, that's already saying, oh, we've already identified you as a rising star.
Exactly.
Don't screw this up.
That's how they treat them.
So this isn't specifically about like a virtual type of management. I had seen this on a Harvard Business Report with, actually Deloitte, someone from Deloitte was being interviewed. And they were talking about that this is like on the horizon, this is how all management is gonna end up working because everybody works virtually. And I'm trying to visualize that in big companies, how that's, you know, gonna play out, or.
I'm having a little trouble putting my head around how that's gonna play out too, because we can only do so much at one time. And we know that when people start multitasking, their efficiency drops. I think time here, time there, but I'm gonna stay in this spot and I'm gonna learn how to do everything? I don't think so.
I'm just trying to understand what the concept is.
Yeah. Well, that's my understanding of ladders and lattices. Ben?
What I have seen in my personal experience, and I know a lot of people that work in hospital administration, and the lattice concept is huge in hospitals. You know, one of the things, I have a friend who works in Anchorage, Alaska. She makes $75 an hour as a nurse, and every 6 months she automatically gets a raise. And the reason that she does that is because she had it worded into her contract, because very slowly over the course of 20 years, she kept taking 5-cent an hour raises, just going, oh sure, I'll train to do this job. Oh sure, I'll train to do this job. Oh sure, I'll do, you know, train to do this job. And when they picked her up, they didn't want her to keep moving around, so they said, sure, we'll work it in your contract that every 6 months you get raised. So she worked the lattice until she could get to the top of the ladder, if that makes sense.
That's not to diminish those people who want to specialize in a particular area
And stay
Right.
and stay in that particular area. You just have to know that that's your passion.
That, I don't think you should, even if you stay, you wanna just work the ladder up. You can learn other
Sure.
areas around you and know the gist of what it is, and stay within that one area.
In the military, they always taught us don't ever volunteer for anything. But in fact, as a junior manager, when you get opportunities to volunteer to serve on this or work on that project,
You jump at the chance.
yeah.
One of the other things that does is, God forbid, your company should say, man, the economy sucks right now, we're gonna have to lay some people off. You know, if you go to your manager and say, hey, look, you know, I know that this department is looking at, you know, making a lot of cuts, I'm really good over here and over here and over here, you know, you are a lot less likely to get cut.
Sure. I'm your backup on anything else that goes wrong. Oh. Good, anything else?
That's why I was talking with someone today about, when I see a challenge, I see an opportunity. No way, and that was part of social capital as well as
Human capital.
bringing everyone together as a team. And so as a team, when an organization faces a challenge, rather than, dreading it, look forward to it as seeing an opportunity within it.
Good, absolutely. Maybe one last concluding note unless somebody else has anything else. And I'm trying to remember the term, like micro something.
Micromanagement?
No, not micromanagement. Micro-affirmation is one word. Ever heard of that? Micro-affirmation. That's when you or I, as in a position of authority, go to our subordinates. Casually, irregularly, not frequently, but we interact with them very briefly, very personally, and you give them positive feedback or affirmation. Just a short conversation, just a smile on your face, just literally a light pat on the back can change a person's life. And too often, too many managers
Forget that.
sit in their damned office and never go out and do that. You want to turn people around, it occurs eyeball to eyeball. No other way. Okay? Good. We'll see you then in 2 weeks. I like my hat, do I,
I need to call. Time tomorrow. We'll get together. All right, bro.
All right, good. See ya.
Issues, problems.
All right, good spot.
Same thing.
All right.
We've got guys that have made trying to send the bills and not learn. Not learn.
Have a good day.
Other tools to handle it better.
parents.
enough. I looked at it as a challenge.